Good morning and welcome to everyone. Today we'll be having a special time together in honor of Swami Sri Yukteshwarji's Mahasamadhi, his life, his blessings on this world. And we'll be having time of meditation, of listening to stories from the autobiography of a yogi read by Swami Kriyanandaji about Swami Sri Yukteswarji. We'll be hearing the story of his resurrection, also from autobiography of a yogi. There will be a time for you to offer a flower at your own altar and ask for Swami Sri Yukteswarji's blessing. So please have a flower, if possible, with you. Let's start with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Layadi Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, beloved Master, Paramahansa Yoganandaji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. Divine Mother, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, bless our satsang with thy presence of love, of peace in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. Help us to feel thee today, Swami Sri Yukteswarji, thy blessings, thy grace on our efforts, our practices, our attunement with God, with all of our masters. We honor thee and touch thy holy feet on this sacred day of thy Mahasamadhi. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let's hear Swamiji chanting, and then we'll hear a passage from Autobiography of a Yogi.
No birth, no death, no caste have I. No birth, no death, no caste have I. Father, mother, have I none. Father, mother, have I none. I am he, blissful spirit, I am he. Blessed spirit, I am he. Mind nor intellect nor ego feeling. Mind nor intellect nor ego feeling. Sky nor earth nor metals am I. Sky nor earth nor metals am I. I am he, blessed spirit, I am he. I am he, blessed spirit, I am he. No birth, no death, no caste have I. No birth, no death, no caste have I. Father, mother, have I none. Father, mother, have I none. I am he, blessed spirit, I am he. 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 nor intellect, nor ego feeling. Mind, nor intellect, nor ego feeling. Sky nor earth nor metals am I. Sky nor earth nor metals am I. I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He. I am He, I am He. Blessed Spirit, I am He.
Master never arrogantly asserted, "I prophesy that such and such an event shall occur." He would rather hint, "Don't you think it may happen?" But his simple speech hid Vatic power. There was no recanting. Never did his slightly veiled words prove false. Sri Yukteshwar was reserved and matter-of-fact in demeanor. There was naught of the vague or daft visionary about him. His feet were firm on the earth, his head in the haven of heaven. Practical people aroused his admiration. Saintliness is not dumbness. Divine perceptions are not incapacitating, he would say. The active expression of virtue gives rise to the keenest intelligence. In Master's life I fully discovered the cleavage between spiritual realism and the obscure mysticism that spuriously passes as a counterpart. My Guru was reluctant to discuss the superphysical realms. His only, quote, marvelous aura was one of perfect simplicity. In conversation he avoided startling references. In action he was freely expressive. Others talked of miracles, but could manifest nothing. Sri Yukteshwar seldom mentioned the subtle laws, but secretly operated them at will. A man of realization does not perform any miracle until he receives an inward sanction, Master explained. God does not wish the secrets of his creation revealed promiscuously. Also, every individual in the world has inalienable right to his free will. A saint will not encroach upon that independence. The silence habitual to Sri Yukteshwar was caused by his deep perceptions of the infinite. No time remained for the interminable so-called revelations that occupy the days of teachers without self-realization. In shallow men the fish of little thoughts cause much commotion. In oceanic minds the whales of inspiration make hardly a ruffle. This observation from the Hindu scriptures is not without discerning humor. Because of my Guru's unspectacular guise, only a few of his contemporaries recognized him as a superman. The popular adage, "He is a fool that cannot conceal his wisdom," could never be applied to Sri Yukteshwar. Though born a mortal like all others, Master had achieved identity with the ruler of time and space. In his life I perceived a godlike unity. He had not found any insuperable obstacle to mergence of human with divine. No such barrier exists, I came to understand, save in man's spiritual unadventurousness. I always thrilled at the touch of Sri Yukteshwar's holy feet. Yogis teach that a disciple is spiritually magnetized by reverent contact with a master. A subtle current is generated. The devotee's undesirable habit mechanisms in the brain are often cauterized, the groove of his worldly tendencies beneficially disturbed. Momentarily, at least, he may find the secret veils of Maya lifting and glimpse the reality of bliss. My whole body responded with a liberating glow, whenever I knelt in the Indian fashion before my Guru. Even when Lahiri Mahashai was silent, Master told me, or when he conversed on other than strictly religious topics, I discovered that nonetheless he had transmitted to me ineffable knowledge. Sri Yukteshwar affected me similarly. If I entered the hermitage in a worried or indifferent frame of mind, my attitude imperceptibly changed. A healing calm descended at mere sight of my Guru. Every day with him was a new experience in joy, peace, and wisdom. Never did I find him deluded or intoxicated with greed or emotion or anger or any human attachment. The darkness of Maya is silently approaching. Let us hie homeward within. With these words at dusk, Master constantly reminded his disciples of their need for Kriya Yoga. A new student occasionally expressed doubts regarding his own worthiness to engage in yoga practice. Forget the past, Sri Yukteswar would console him. The vanished lives of all men are dark with many shames. Human conduct is ever unreliable until anchored in the divine. Everything in future will improve if you are making a spiritual effort now.
We'll meditate now for around 10 minutes. Meditate on Swami Sri Yukteswarji. Ask his blessings on your life. Try to feel those blessings in your whole being, especially in the heart. Close the meditation with this reading on the passing of Swami Sri Yukteswarji. Continue sitting in the silence as I read these words from Autobiography of a Yogi. Come to Puri Ashram at once. This telegram was sent on March 8th by a brother disciple. News of the message reached my ears. Anguished at its implications, I dropped to my knees and implored God that my guru's life be spared. As I was about to leave Father's home for the train, a divine voice spoke within. Do not go to Puri tonight. Thy prayer cannot be granted. Lord, I said, grief-stricken, thou dost not wish to engage me in a tug of war at Puri, where thou wilt have to deny my incessant prayers for Master's life. Must he then depart for higher duties at thy behest? In obedience to the inward command, I did not leave that night for Puri. The following evening, I set out for the train. On the way at 7 o'clock, a black astral cloud suddenly covered the sky. Later, while the train roared toward Puri, a vision of Swami Sri Yukteswar appeared before me. He was sitting very grave of countenance with a light on each side. Is it all over? I lifted my arms beseechingly. He nodded, then slowly vanished. As I stood on the Puri train platform the following morning, still hoping against hope, an unknown man approached me. Have you heard that your master is gone? He left me without another word. I never discovered who he was or how he had known where to find me. Stunned, I swayed against the platform wall, realizing that in diverse ways my guru was trying to convey to me the devastating news. Seething with rebellion, my soul was like a volcano. By the time I reached the Puri Hermitage, I was nearing collapse. The inner voice was tenderly repeating, collect yourself, be calm. I entered the ashram room where Master's body, unimaginably lifelike, was sitting in the lotus posture, a picture of health and loveliness. A short time before his passing, my guru had been slightly ill with fever, but before the day of his ascension into the infinite, his body had become completely well. No matter how often I looked at his dear form, I could not realize that its life had departed. His skin was smooth and soft, and his face was a beatific expression of tranquility. He had consciously relinquished his body at the hour of mystic summoning. The Lion of Bengal is gone. I cried in a daze. I conducted the solemn rites on March 10th. Sri Yukteswar was buried with the ancient rituals of the Swamis in the garden of his Puri ashram. His disciples later arrived from far and near to honor their guru at a vernal equinox memorial service. The Amrita Bazar Patrika, leading newspaper of Calcutta, carried his picture and the following report. The death Bhandara ceremony of Srimat Swami Sri Yukteswar Giri Maharaj, age 81, took place at Puri on March 21st. Many disciples came down to Puri for the rites. One of the greatest exponents of the Bhagavad Gita, Swami Maharaj, was a great disciple of Yogi Raj Sri Shama Charan Lahiri Mahashaya of Benares. Swami Maharaj was the founder of several Yogoda Satsanga centers in India and was the great inspiration behind the yoga movement, which was carried to the West by Swami Yogananda, his principal disciple. It was Sri Yukteswarji's prophetic powers and deep realization that inspired Swami Yogananda to cross the oceans and spread in America the message of the masters of India. His interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures testify to the depth of Swami Sri Yukteswarji's command of the philosophy, both Eastern and Western, and remain as an eye-opener for the unity between Orient and Occident. As he believed in the unity of all religions, Swami Sri Yukteswar Maharaj established Sadhu Sabha, Society of Saints, with the cooperation of leaders of various sects and faiths for the inculcation of a scientific spirit in religion. At the time of his demise, he nominated Swami Yogananda, his successor, as the president of Sadhu Sabha. India is really poorer today by the passing of such a great man. May all fortunate enough to have come near him inculcate in themselves the true spirit of India's culture and sadhana, which was personified in him. Now, if you would like, please go to your altar, offer your devotion, your love, bow at the feet of Swami Sri Yukteswarji, offer a flower if you have one with you. Now we'll close with this excerpt from Autobiography of a Yogi on the resurrection of Swami Sri Yukteswarji.
Lord Krishna, the glorious form of the Avatar, appeared in a shimmering blaze as I sat in my room at the Regent Hotel in Bombay. Shining over the roof of a high building across the street, the ineffable vision had suddenly burst on my sight as I gazed out of my long, open third-story window. The divine figure waved to me, smiling and nodding in greeting. When I could not understand the exact message of Lord Krishna, he departed with a gesture of blessing. Wondrously uplifted, I felt that some spiritual event was presaged. My western voyage had for the time being been cancelled. I was scheduled for several public addresses in Bombay before leaving on a return visit to Bengal. Sitting on my bed in the Bombay Hotel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon of June 19th, 1936, 1 week after the vision of Krishna, I was roused from my meditation by a beatific light. Before my open and astonished eyes, the whole room was transformed into a strange world, the sunlight transmuted into supernal splendor. Waves of rapture engulfed me as I beheld the flesh and blood form of Sri Yukteshwar. My son, Master spoke tenderly, on his voice an angel bewitching smile. For the first time in my life, I did not kneel at his feet in greeting, but instantly advanced to gather him hungrily in my arms, moment of moments. The anguish of past months was toll I counted weightless against the torrential bliss now descending. Master mine, beloved of my heart, why did you leave me? I was incoherent in an excess of joy. Why did you let me go to the Kumbh Mela? How bitterly I have blamed myself for leaving you. I did not want to interfere with your happy anticipation of seeing the pilgrimage spot where I first met Babaji. I left you only for a little while. Am I not with you again? But is it you, Master, the same Lion of God? Are you wearing a body like the one I buried beneath the cruel Puri sands? Yes, my child, I am the same. This is a flesh and blood body. Though I see it as ethereal, to your sight it is physical. From the cosmic atoms I created an entirely new body, exactly like that cosmic dream physical body which you laid beneath the dream sands at Puri in your dream world. I am in truth resurrected, not on earth, but on an astral planet. Its inhabitants are better able than earthly humanity to meet my lofty standards. There you and your exalted loved ones shall some day come to be with me. Deathless Guru, tell me more. Master gave a quick, mirthful chuckle. Please, dear one, he said, won't you relax your hold a little? Only a little. I had been embracing him with an octopus grip. I could detect the same faint, fragrant, natural odor which had been characteristic of his body before. The thrilling touch of his divine flesh still persists around the inner sides of my arms and in my palms whenever I recall those glorious hours.
Let's rub our hands together. Visualize the light, the grace, the blessings of Swami Sri Yukteswarji flooding each one of us, all those who we know who are in need of healing, friends, family, loved ones, and for this whole earth, that people feel peace and light, especially today, this holy day. Om. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Many blessings to you all. Have a wonderful day.